Hey everybody, how we doing? How we feeling? How's life going for everybody? I can't figure out why my captions, but I will figure that out. Hi everybody, I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. It is a Monday night, and usually I and my guest are over on an entirely different channel doing entirely different shenaniganry, where it is hashtag not the Ravnos' fault. But given the fact that our GM is feeling well, feel better, Simon. Uh, I decided instead to invite uh, the wonderful, fabulous Hope over here so that we could build his house for the game, for the fun that will be Carousel Court. Um, so I'm going to let Hope introduce himself, which
Hey everybody, it's Pope here. Pope Ruleball on Twitter, Pope Ruleball on Twitch, lurking all your streams. And having seen so much of this process now, I am super excited to be here. I got my dice tray and dice in front of me. So let's get down to business.
to defeat the Huns.
Uh, that may have been in one of the ancestors' history. We'll see.
Well, we'll find out. If it is, that would make you legitimately the oldest house currently. Because again, for those of you who don't know, who are just joining us for the first time, hi everyone. This is my game dev slash session zero with all of my players plus a bunch of other people who have been kind enough to volunteer to help build some NPC houses to add some color to this Southern Gothic urban fantasy game that I am. And this game is using the um, Sword Chronicle house building system, and all of my wonderful players, like Pope, who will get to play in this wonderful, fabulous game, are going to build their own houses so that they can determine and play out the politics of this urban fantasy game, of this, subdivision from 1945 to 2000 in Savannah, Georgia. And politics will be different. The world is different. But we are here to do some drama and world building, all of that fun stuff. So why don't we start with the very first, at the very beginning, which I am told apparently is a very good place to start.
Yes.
Even if you have to change the phonetic scale, make the song make better sense. Hey Scott, welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, thank you. No, it is not a new haircut. It is just me styling my hair. Thank you, Trooper. I appreciate that. I really do. But thank you. The wonderful, and now that you are all here, we are going to get started doing the boring, mundane part of this house build, where we build out the initial stats for this family that will be moving in to Carousel Court, this brand new post-war subdivision. Well, it was begun before. thank you. Uh, it was begun before in the 20s, and then came the crash. And the 30s led to some WPA projects that started things moving in the right direction. Then came the war, and life stopped. But this game will begin in 1945. And as part of that, we have a wide variety of construction styles and homes in this subdivision in Savannah, Georgia. But first we need to find out the starting stats for this house, which are, for each one, 8d6 minus 2d6. There are 7 stats. Your HOA rating, your influence, your wealth, your people, land, reputation, and magic. So, ready to get this party started?
Yes. I have the dice ready.
Let's go.
Okay. So for our first,
Your HOA rating.
we have a total of 13.
13. Not horrible. I mean, your house is a little well loved, but that just adds character, right?
Right.
What do we get for influence?
Second. For influence,
Krillin is saying that a 13 is pretty bad. It's not the worst. And it's only the beginning, right? It could go up.
uh, 30.
30 in influence. Look, that's a good roll. Which is, you know some folks, but you aren't a member of the club. Yet.
Right.
How we doing on wealth?
$31.
Ooh, 31 wealth. Middle class. Your family has the funds to pay bills, save a little, and has small luxuries. Or at least you started that way.
Started that way. We have a long way to go, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So next up,
People.
people. Right. 19.
19. Nuclear family. However one chooses to define said.
Okay. Next up,
Mm-hmm. Your land.
$33.
Oof. That's a good number. That is a significant number. You own your house, a small piece of property in the country, and a small storefront in town.
Okay. Next up,
Mm-hmm. Your reputation. What do folk think of you?
I'm laughing, folks. 24.
24. Unknown. You don't have a reputation, either good or bad.
Okay.
And Krellin very kindly did the important thing and told us what the statistics of these rolls should be, which is approximately 21 as an average.
Okay.
It's statistically average. So.
Well, I'm all over the place, so.
But a nice actual curve going. And magic. How are we doing on magic?
I see.
Ooh, that good.
I think the reputation of previous appearances on this channel may have influenced these dice.
Oh, that good.
Yeah. $32.
32. Ooh, that's a good number. That is a very good number. That puts you in an established family with a steady, small well of magic. But
that's before things.
But that's before things have happened.
Yeah.
Let us find out, however, what the history of the world has done to you. By the way, I'm looking forward to going to binge the second part 2 of that thing, and no one will be able to stop me.
It's fair.
We'll find out at the end. Trooper's saying he thinks that makes you one of the most magical houses.
We'll see at the end.
At
Life
the end,
happens.
Life happens. And in this game, life comes at you fast, as we have found.
All right. So, next up is how old the house is?
Yes. 3d6 plus...
3d6 plus 1.
Will give me the length of time that we are going to account for on this historical timeline with an arbitrary starting point of 1000 CE.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me, Krellin. We do have to finish the Lafayettes. Which you just know that's going to be their name.
So that is an 18.
We're officially one of the oldest houses going. I think you are the oldest house. Yes, you are the oldest house. The only way you could get higher is if you had a 19. Hi. Hey, everybody. I would like to... I would like to say that we now have the longest history to account for.
I regret nothing.
Cool. So we begin in... Okay, wait. We need to go back. We need to start at the very beginning.
Okay.
Trooper is the youngest player house. He is not, however, the youngest house in Carousel Court. The youngest house in Carousel Court, I believe, is Pooja's. But we begin this house. The first thing we need to determine is this house's history begins in 1497. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And goes through 1945. We're gonna cover a lot of history here, people. Isn't it a good thing we have time and drinks? If you you might need snacks, there will be a break at some point to refresh snacks and beverages.
Definitely get snacks, folks.
But the first thing we're going to do is roll all of the events that occurred beginning in 1497.
That is 3d6?
Yep, 3d6. Just regular straight 3d6.
And so we start with 13.
What is it with y'all and 13? I have to ask. Is it just a number that your dice love? Or do you just want to have a capricious ruler to start everything off with?
I don't know. Okay, so what does... So if I remember correctly, that's...
6?
Minus 2d6.
6 minus 2d6 for every single roll.
Oh, good heavens. Okay.
So that's 7 of them.
All right. 0.
Okay, so that's good. No effect on your influence. Or on your HOA rating, which is your power, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
+1.
+1 to influence.
Zero.
-2.
-2.
-2 to people.
+4.
Got more land out of the deal.
+1.
More reputation.
+4.
And more magic. Look, this eccentric ruler did lots of things, except a couple people died of your nuclear family. But you still have a nuclear family, so
Trimming the fat.
we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay, everyone. I would like y'all to take bets in chat. Trooper has officially stated the following. Alas, no vampire tonight means I get to do class prep early and do some stream work and maybe get to bed early. Bets in chat if Trooper will actually go to bed early.
I don't have enough petty cash lying around. I'm willing to like bet some money.
All right. So, by the way, 1497 was originally chosen because it is the founding. James Cabot begins messing around in Newfoundland and having a permanent. There's now a permanent white man moving around in North America, not just in the Caribbean.
Okay.
1526. 3d6. 1526 is the San Miguel colony, which is important for Savannah history because San Miguel colony in South Carolina, the first permanent Spanish colony outside of Florida, and it's also the first colony with African slaves and the home of the first African slave revolt.
Got an 11.
Got an 11. Well, that's just an infrastructure. So, we forgot. Wait. We forgot one thing.
What?
We forgot to roll your bonus dice.
We can do that at the end.
Okay. Well, in the infrastructure, that means you roll
a D6 for
2d6,
each?
and you're going to assign them. So,
okay.
What I've been recommending is to just roll them, put them to the side, and then put them.
We'll just add 2d6 at the end.
Well, not 2d6, but roll.
Okay.
The dice. So you get
a 6 and a 4.
A 6 and a 4. That way you can know where they go. All right. 1566. The first permanent colony in the East Coast. Spanish, by the way.
18.
18? We have a windfall, everyone. This family does really well.
Early.
Yeah, but
it's benefited early.
Windfall is 2d6 to HOA, influence, wealth, and reputation, and 1d6 to people, land, and magic.
So let's do the 2d6s first.
Mm-hmm.
So 7.
Yep.
3.
Yep.
10.
Well, y'all making a lot of money. I think you might be you might be close to currently the wealthiest family.
And there's one more 2d6, or is that?
Yep, to reputation.
Reputation 11.
Puts you at 36. And then 1d6 to people, land, and magic.
People's a 6. Land's a 3. Magic's a 3.
Ooh, things are getting juicy, y'all. Trooper is saying, I'm crossing my fingers for Pope's family because I want another rival for the head of the country club besides that powerful NPC house. Look, the Lafayettes are just Faye. I'm sorry.
Careful what you wish for, Trooper. May just
careful what you wish for. 3d6. What do we get in 1607, which is the founding of Jamestown?
5.
You get a 5. Oh,
yeah.
Not a 5. Oh, it's a conquest. Plus 1d6 to influence, wealth, people, and land. Conquest. Influence, wealth, people, and land go up by 1d6. Reputation and magic go down by 1d6.
Well, let's do the reputation and magic and see how bad this goes.
Yes.
Reputation's a 3, so
Minus
it goes down
3.
by 3. Magic goes down by 1.
And everything else go well, you have 4 more that you roll positive.
So the first positive is a 6.
Yep.
Second positive is a 2.
Yep.
Third positive is a 6.
Do your people, and then land.
Land is a 6.
You're rolling real well.
Got a lot in that conquest, whatever that was.
Yes, you did. You only had to give up a little bit of reputation for it, and just the teeniest bit of magic. Not even really. 1665.
Okay.
And the Amity of Peace, Articles of Peace and Amity.
That is another 11.
Another 11, infrastructure.
One and 2.
1 and 2. But as we have found in this game, a 1 can be the difference between tiers.
Yes.
All right. 1733 in the founding of the Georgia colony. How y'all come out of that?
That is 15.
Treachery. Plus 1d6 to HOA, minus 1d6 to reputation and influence.
Okay, well, let's see the plus. Plus is a 2.
Yep, and then influence and reputation.
Influence, minus 3. Reputation, minus 2.
1754 to 1763, the French and Indian War.
French and Indian War. Okay. So, that's a 3.
That's an ascent. Plus 1d6 to HOA, influence, wealth, and land.
Okay. So plus 2.
That's 2.
Plus 3.
Plus 3.
Plus 4.
Plus 4.
And plus 2.
2. 1776 to 1783, the American War for Independence.
10.
Glory!
Okay. So, what does that do?
Glory gives you plus 1d6 to everything except wealth and people. So 5 total.
5 total. All right. 6. 4.
What was that?
4.
Okay, 4. And then
1. 6. 6.
so 166.
Yep.
Okay. We're looking at some good numbers here, people. We're looking at some good numbers here.
Okay. When we move to next?
1789, the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. When Georgia becomes the 4th state of the Union.
14.
What?
14.
Scandal. Y'all. I love a good scandal. Minus 1d6 to HOA, influence, and reputation.
Okay. Minus 3.
Minus 3.
Minus 5.
Minus 5 to influence.
And minus 1.
To reputation. 1820, Savannah Fire.
17.
we haven't had one of those. A villain. A dastardly villain, which gives you a plus 1d6 to HOA and influence and a minus 1d6 to people and reputation.
Well, let's do the minuses first. So, minus to people is a 1.
And reputation?
3.
Okay. And then positives to HOA and influence.
Positive to HOA is a 6. Influence is a 2.
Villain. 1861 to 1865. That late unpleasantness. A certain idiots and the I mean, the rules that we are using for the rolling are from the Sword Chronicle book from Green Ronin Press, Krellin. But I'll post when these are all done. I'll make it all look nice and post this as a supplement on my itch change.
16.
Victory. Victory. Plus 1d6 to HOA, influence, and magic.
HOA is 1.
Yep.
Influence is 4. Magic's a 6.
Magic keep going up. But 1864, December thereof, a small little thing about marching through Georgia.
Yeah, let's see what Sherman did. That's 9.
Favor! Plus 1d6 to HOA, influence, land, and reputation.
Okay, HOA is a 3. Influence is a 4.
4, you said?
Yep.
Land and reputation.
Land is a 3. Reputation is a 6.
Oof. We're getting some really nice numbers here, folks. 1893 in the Sea Islands hurricane.
Okay. 11?
Infrastructure? Okay, now I need to go back and look at each of them, each of the houses, and determine, because I think almost every house has had like either an infrastructure or an eccentric ruler for the hurricane. So 2d6.
Well, we got a 1 and a 5.
Cool. That's your third infrastructure, by the way. 1914 to 1918, World War One, the war to end all wars. That ain't happening. And Trooper, their reputation before we start with World War One is sitting at a 39.
That's another 16.
Victory! Yo. Plus 1d6 to HOA, influence, and magic.
Okay, so HOA is a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Influence 4. Magic 5.
1928 in the stock market. Crash of Black Tuesday.
$10.
Favor! Or glory. No, excuse me, glory. Favor is 9. Glory. Plus 1d6. A total of 5 to everything but wealth and people.
Sorry, glory with the stock market crash. I got a bad feeling, folks.
So 5d6.
Okay.
You are correct, Trooper. You
Okay.
got favor out of the hurricane, but nobody's had a bad rep come out of the hurricane, though.
So 1,
Mm-hmm.
3,
Mm-hmm.
6,
Yep.
4,
Yep.
6.
For those wondering, as of this moment, Pope has just pushed himself on par with the Fae for magic. Not there yet in influence. Almost there in other things. We'll find out. 1941 to 1945, World War II.
18.
Windfall. Plus
I
1d.
wasn't intending on playing the villain in this game, but
Plus 2d6 to HOA, influence, wealth, and reputation.
okay. So the first 2d6 is a 5.
5,
Second 2d6 is a 9.
9.
Third 2d6 is a 7.
Wait, I'm sorry. You, what was that last one? So
It was
5,
9 and
9,
now
5, 9, and
7.
7.
Yes.
And then,
One more 2d6.
2d6 to reputation.
Is a 10.
10. Yo. And then 1d6 to the other 3.
So first one's a 6.
6 to people.
Second one's a 2.
2 to land.
And the third one's a 6.
And 6 to magic. As of right now, Pope is officially, without putting in either the bonus die or the all 3 infrastructure, you are officially above the Fae for influence and magic. So let's put your infrastructure in first. And then we can do the bonus die, and I'll let everybody know, before we put the bonus die in, I'll let everybody know where you ended after your history.
Well, actually, I want to put the infrastructure in as the history goes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because that I didn't understand how the history flows.
Mm-hmm. So we just need you to roll the 7d6. That will be the bonus die.
7d6 bonus die. Okay. So that's 6.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. Don't worry, Panda. I'm gonna give you these numbers. It'll be astonishing.
All right. So that was a good spread.
Okay.
1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.
That's actually a really good spread. Right now, before you put these, I'm telling you, luck of the Irish. Fair. Possible. We'll find out.
I'm actually Scottish.
$14.97. Maybe. Carlin's like, oh wait, we need a Sealy Fae to match the unsealy Fae. Look, we're gonna let Pope choose he's gonna choose what family he's gonna play.
I have questions in order to figure that out, chat, so you'll go on a journey with me.
Do we want to assign your values for your bonus die before we get going any further?
No, not yet.
Okay, we're gonna hold those until the story.
Yeah.
Before we get into the story, everyone, I feel like there are still values that have to go in, but as of right this second, we are sitting at a 44 in HOA, which is, you have won the Garden Award, and it will be yours again, you swear.
Oh dear.
65 in influence. Y'all are the kingmakers, and no one get elected in this city without your say-so. You and the Fae. 54 in wealth. You're rich. Your family wants for nothing. 34 in people, a large extended family over multiple generations, 60 in land, which is you own your house and have farm property in the country and a small office building that you own and rent. Um 53 reputation. You're always on the invitation list. Your family's small eccentricities are seen as a delight at dinner parties. And a 67 in magic puts you at your family has one of the largest well springs of magic in the country, maybe the continent. Hi.
I'm not saying the character I'm playing first is named JR, but it is a thought that crossed my mind. Um, devil's in the details. Speaking of which, how do the Fallen?
The Fallen? The Fallen. The Fallen are fun. So, for those of you who don't know, in our wonderful lore, as we have discovered, the Fallen are literal fallen angels. Most important things about Fallen: they never enter holy ground, regardless of which religion that location was sanctified to. Ground remains sanctified as long as one person who remembers or is a member of that religion makes their permanent residence within the general area, within about 5 mile radius, or until intentionally deconsecrated or desecrated.
Okay.
Now, what you could have is a very nice mix of Fallen and Cambion.
With the bonuses I have, I think they're all Fallen.
Oh, there we go.
Devil went down to Georgia.
No, Krellin, PB isn't Fallen. PB's just an incubus succubus, which is why their family could live on the consecrated ground. It just was cursed to them, and it wasn't until they left that they discovered that it was real unhealthy for them. As opposed to Fallen, who can, you know, not even enter that property. Because they had a lot more scandals going of the sexual variety.
Yeah, I think it's all Fallen.
I'm loving this. We have fallen angels, y'all.
You can't
Okay.
be in the South and not have people at the crossroads. I'm sorry.
Oh, or so you're going demon or just fallen angels?
Fallen.
Fallen. There we go. That's what I thought. So this leads to my next question, sir. When does your family come Savannah?
I think they come with Sherman.
I mean, you do get a land bump then. All right. So family, but that just helps. So, let us go back to 1497. It's a very good year for some people. It's a very bad year for some people. For your family, it's a very good year. As an eccentric ruler, who... Look, I still have problems. Okay, that phrasing is done in the core rulebook.
An eccentric ruler founds what will become this family.
Yes. And if it is your first if it is your first founding event, Um, this was your first result. Your family was instead raised by a mad lord or king as appropriate to the period of your first founding. Note that madness does not necessarily indicate mental illness, but it refers to capricious rule for any reason. So the next important question is, where were y'all from where were y'all hanging out in 1497?
1497, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Let me check something. I need to check a little bit of history. Oh,
Europe?
see.
Somewhere else?
Oh, you're in Europe. What was happening? Oh, that's delightful. So you know what was happening in 1497, September 7th to be precise, in England?
Oh, the Cornish are uprising again.
Yeah.
Look. Look. Cornwall wants to have an uprising. Cornwall should have an uprising. So,
I think we were there. There were a lot of individuals that
oh yeah, this is because the Cornish reject the unification of the Roses in 1497. They're firmly against the unification of the Roses, so they are. Yeah, Cornwall had a little uprising as a treat. Well, to be fair, they didn't like Henry VII, and who really does like the Lancasters?
there were many deals to be made. So that's where the family was founded.
Okay, so in Cornwall, so this leads to the question: uh, do even the Lancasters like the Lancasters? No, they don't. I would like to point to a small individual named Richard III. No, they don't. Sorry. Well, technically, not a Lancaster, but is it really any different at the moment? Um, so in Cornwall, is the family supporting Henry VII, or is this a
I don't think they care about support. They just care about the conflict.
okay? Well, it's like the point of like an eccentric ruler is somebody who gives them like a boost up, right? Land and
Yeah.
title.
Uh,
So is it Henry VII who does so, or is it Perkin Wallback?
I think it's Warbeck.
Yeah, didn't go well for him.
Didn't go well for him. Went
This
well
is
enough
true.
for us. But didn't go well for him. Krellin, I don't think they crave battle. I think they crave something far darker.
Look, look, always gonna be craving something. All right. So gained title through Perkin Warbeck. I love how even like Wikipedia says pretender and usurper to the throne, and I'm like, dude, if he won the Tudors, the Lancasters would have been screwed. He was much more popular with the people. He had the support in Cornwall in the West countries, and had the support from a bunch of other people. And to be that Lord Dabney is a better general, and that's the only reason Henry VII won, is because Lord Dabney was there for him. Alright, So, gained the title through Perkin Warbeck. Did not go well for Warbeck. But family retains title and lands under Henry the Seventh. 1526. We have an infrastructure moment.
Okay.
We'll go through and find more details, but these are like the bullet points, and then we go back and flesh it out
Okay.
again.
Now with that coming about, I think the starting of infrastructure is we're going to put the higher of the two numbers from there into people because we lost some,
Okay.
and then the the lesser number is going into magic.
Cool. You are now officially maxed out on magic.
Okay.
Just anything you put in there is not going to shift you any tiers.
Okay.
So, what were you doing for that infrastructure? Where were you? Are you guys in Cornwall? Are you in Wales? Are you bumming around in England in general?
I think we're in Wales, and I think we're we are going, and from the conflict, the survivors are being consolidated at this point.
Okay, so family consolidates in Wales. 1566, y'all get a windfall. A massive bump in power, huge bump in wealth and reputation. 1566 was
Oh. Hmm. Let me see. Um, so um, there's a succession that goes on with the papacy at that point.
Oh, Pius the Fifth.
Yeah.
The Counter Reformation?
I just saying, we have a problem with sanctified ground, and anytime papacy change hands, there's some disruption.
Yes.
So I think some more of the Catholic holdings within Wales all of a sudden just get taken.
Well, it is 1566. It's after the Henry VIII is declared,
Yeah, but it took some time to get those Catholics out.
But specifically, uh, um, when does Henry hasn't died yet? No, it's Edward still. Henry has died. Edward isn't. Right? English kings. Yeah. Give me the list of English kings because my. No, Henry is dead. Um. Mary Queen of Scots is dead. Or not Mary Queen of Scots. Mary Elizabeth's sister is dead. Now we're into the fight for the unification of England. Mary Queen of Scots. Oh, look, I'm just list of English monarchs.
It was James the First.
We're up to James the First. No, because
James happens in 1566.
Because Elizabeth is still queen.
No, he's born in 1566.
Yeah.
He's born in 1566.
Okay.
It was James the Sixth.
Lady Jane Grey. Bloody Mary is through 1554. And then technically gets Philip the Prudent, but he dies.
It's
Elizabeth.
It's Liz. It's Liz.
We're full into well, yeah. Well, yeah, it's Liz. It's Liz. James is born in 1566.
Yeah.
But it's Liz is officially Queen of England, nominally.
Yeah. It's Liz.
But it'll go back and forth because she doesn't officially become queen until 1603.
I think Liz is perfectly fine with a bunch of Catholic lands coming into the family's hands.
This is true. 1566. We're looking at 1566. Look, everything that goes from the death of Bloody Mary through through the stability of, technically she reigns from 1558. So 1558. So this is only, 8 years later, 1566. She is in power, and Mary Queen of Scots is still not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
A lot of faith. I don't favorite. All right, so yeah, so oh wait, isn't there was she's burning a whole bunch of like Catholics. Yeah, that's what she's doing. So the family is encouraged. This windfall is the family encourages
Liz to get the Catholics out of striking distance.
Elizabeth I to persecute.
Yeah.
A number of Welsh Catholic families.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, yeah, 1559. Yeah, so 1566 is.
Yeah, we're just guiding things.
Which kind of explains your boost in population, wealth, reputation if you're sitting there getting cozy with Elizabeth I. And power. You're getting real cozy with Elizabeth power.
Mm-hmm.
1607, there is a conquest. that leads to a minor dip in reputation and magic, but a big boost in influence, wealth, or influence people and land.
What year is that? 16.
Huh?
What was the year? 1607.
1607. James the First is King of England.
There's
Liz is
conquest.
dead. He brings back the Catholics.
So there's some foreshadowing we can do here.
Well, he nominally brings back the Catholics, but he also has,
yeah,
other things.
But the Bank of Genoa fails after the announcement of national bankruptcy in Spain.
Oh yes, the Habsburgs bankrupt themselves. It's great. The Habsburgs bankrupt themselves, so again, because they're paying off the French for a peace treaty again.
Yeah, I I think we may have played a that was the culmination of an operation of bleeding the Habsburgs dry.
Okay, so you is the family still in Wales at this point?
I think the family seat is in Wales, but it strikes me at this point the family is kind of spread out.
Have the families, because by this point you're sitting at a 18 and 19. $37. Oh, for a second I couldn't. So the population at this particular point is a large extended family. So this is where you're like the bulk of your population.
Yeah, I think. Ooh, okay.
30, not 37. 18. Oh, 18 minus, so 17 plus 18. Yeah, there we go. I got the minus 2. So yeah, you have a large extended family. So this is the point where your family is officially at its highest, and it will never really go down from here. Categorically.
In that case, I think this is less to do with world things and more to do with fallen things.
Okay.
I think this was a conquest of another fallen house.
How does that manifest?
Um,
what tracks are there on the rest of history that once this revelation of the supernatural existing begins to take hold, how, what would your conspiracy theorists point out as this is influence? This is a historical event that's
there is this is oh wait. Ooh. Okay, I need to check something. Yeah. So the flight of the Earls took place in 1607 September.
yes, because fuck the English.
Uh, I think that flight was because there's some disagreement about whether the Earls wanted to start a war with the Spanish.
Or they just flight of the earth.
Yeah. Um, I like the idea that
Yeah, it's the
um
end of it's the officially the end of basically the end of
the old
Ireland,
Gaelic order.
the
Yeah,
Kingdom of Ireland doesn't exist, and the
yeah,
West of Ireland, and now the be this, and then in about 10 years, or within a few weeks or a couple of years after, will be the flight of the wild geese, when those Irish free companies will also leave
yeah.
because they see the
I
writing on the wall.
yeah, I think the conquest was just whatever mystical support they had, the family undermined.
Oh, so would it be possible to say that the Fallen decided to side with the English against the Fae supported Irish?
Yes,
You.
there you go. Um, actually, not only did they do that, the the fallen allies that the Fae had got consolidated to this house. We took them away.
Yes, there we go. You have another infrastructure.
We just got all these people.
Y'all did. You
Just
have a
got all these.
1 and a 2, and right now, your people are sitting at a 40, so you could and
Let's bump it to 2.
Mhm.
Get to 42.
Secret of Life and everything.
Mhm. And let's also with this bump the influence by 1.
Once,
Yeah.
what's influence at a 66? So this is 1665, by the way. What was the family doing in 1665?
16, 16. I think it was a rather peaceful time because
Yeah,
we were
well, not really. Well, kind of.
peaceful for us. I mean, the plague was happening. Um,
So was James the First sending, or James the Second sending a bunch of people to the Caribbean after failed to revolt?
uh, I think we were mostly like again, humanity's bottlenecking. It's just time to sort of like relax, um,
Invest in
focus
your
in, focus internally.
focused on internal issues.
Yeah, yeah. Humans have died.
1733. James Oglethorpe has gotten the mission and grant to found the colony of Georgia, and you commit treachery, which gives a boost to your power, but a negative to your influence and reputation.
Um, why? Why? I, I. We're going to lean into it, folks. We cut people out of the Georgia deal.
Ooh, whom did you cut out?
Let's look at our wheel of mystical beings and see who we pissed off. Um,
Fae, Celestials, Greater Undead, Shifters, Magicals, or uh, the the Greek tribal chieftain who's there comes out of it very well. The dryads come out of it pretty well because they establish the refuge. The were sharks have moved to town, and they're doing pretty good on Tybee.
I
And the Fae are kind of consolidating themselves.
Yeah, I think we fucked over some undead. Uh,
Yeah, okay. What kind of undead?
what are our options? I know there's Draugr.
Vampires, Damphir, Rusalka, Yangshi, Draugr, whites. And I did go into a lot of discussion about the difference between whites and.
Okay. Um, I think we fucked over some Dampier. No, you don't get to go over to the new world yet. You get to stay here.
Is there a particular lineage that you fucked over?
Uh well, they're definitely either they're in the Isles, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm perfectly happy with fucking over a Dampier lineage. Um, at this point,
So a British Isles Dampier lineage.
yeah,
How?
yeah. Um, again, this is through treachery.
Yeah.
I think we manufactured a scandal that got them kicked off the group going over to Found.
A British.
Yeah.
Dampier being among the founding colonists and members. Oh, more importantly, not just the founding colonists, but also members of the trust.
Mm-hmm.
Because Georgia is actually a trust colony. So the original colony was created with Oglethorpe being granted a certain amount of land to establish the city of Savannah, but then each of the individual people who were there were going to be given the same amount of percentage of land, and the trust would control all of the finances for all of the people going, and also the investments. So you would have like, quote unquote, not the 7 acres and a mule comment, but
yeah,
it wasn't the same number. You would all be given the same amount, and then the trust would be provided for to encourage the influence and adjust the finances so that you would sell through the all of the agricultural goods would be sold jointly through the trust, and it would supply through the colony.
I
Versus
think
a charter colony.
this is the time that the first member of the family is sent to the new world.
Okay, so first member.
The family moves to Savannah with Sherman's March, but a member of the family is sent to Georgia.
Do they take that Damphir's place?
Spot? Yeah.
Cool, we'll find out more about them in a minute. 1754 to 1763, the French and Indian War, where y'all have an ascent. Well, if you're English, there's your.
And I think this is when the family moves to the new world, but we don't move to Georgia.
Okay, so majority of the well, I mean, you get a little bit of land, which makes sense, but you also get a boost in wealth. So majority of family moves to the New World British colonies. Okay, but not necessarily to Georgia. Are you spreading yourselves out along that Atlantic coast?
Yeah, I think it's there's there there is a lot of opportunity, and also during the French and Indian War, I think the family weren't officers; they were mercenaries.
It's fair. It's valid. Um. So mercenaries supporting the British. Add to that, you were probably paid in. This also kind of explains that you were paid in land.
Yeah.
In land in the colonies, which happened actually for a number of certain people of rank. Okay, but how are you not officers at this point?
I think that's on purpose.
Okay, so you aren't a member of the British Army at all. You're just a mercenary.
Yeah, I think that is on purpose because with that level, you have to be more careful in hiding because let's be fair, officers tend to get assassinated and picked off.
Well, not until the American colonialists get involved.
No, even back during the French and Indian War,
A little bit, but not as
they
many as you think, because they still thought about continental warfare. You know, two armies across from each other, and the arm. Most of the officers aren't leading from the front anymore.
yes, but this family does.
There you go. Hey,
Welcome,
Hawkeye,
Raiders.
welcome in. Welcome, welcome. If you don't know the wonderful, fabulous Hawkeye, you should. And all of the great things that he and his daughter do on Monday nights for some Lego Star Wars fun times. Also, Grapplers Keep the TTRPG community wrestling commentary that he does. Great. Or, well, video game. Follow Hawkeye. Follow Hawkeye. Yeah. Where are we? We are in. Oh, yes, the War of American Independence. You get
here?
glory. Not a big boost to land, but power, influence, reputation, magic gets a massive boost.
Yeah, it's we saw the writing on the wall and we undercut the British.
Well, of course you did.
There was a lot of gains to be had, and it wasn't going to be. Uh, so I think this is the first time that the family kind of flexes magically, is what happens.
Okay, so who is doing this?
Um, okay. This is sort of a placeholder name. This is the family name for them. Official name we'll work on, but Murmur.
Okay, does what?
Um,
How does he gain? How do they gain glory?
so the thing about warfare at that time is there is a great deal of inaccuracy. It's accuracy by volume, the American way.
No. The British are inaccurate because they refuse to adapt to certain things. Although,
Yeah.
admittedly, they do have a beginning rifleman regiment, but it's not what you'll expect. Versus the Americans, who are basically like, nah, we have a whole bunch of folk who sit here and shoot squirrels to eat and don't engage in standing across 20 meters from somebody. And we like to engage in hit and run tactics.
I think we aided the running.
You aided who?
For the hit and run tactics, I think we magically flexed with the running and hiding.
Where? Just out of curiosity, whose units were you supporting?
I think ooh, we were in New York.
Oh, are you helping a certain gentleman steal cannons from the battery?
Yeah,
And
without notice. Without notice.
that makes sense. Um, it's Alexander Hamilton and others in stealing British cannons from the battery, which, by the place, is a real place. It is a location. From the battery to use against the British. Via magic. Via stealthy.
We mask their movements and make them. They don't realize how they appear.
No.
Not at all. But to others, they're not who they think they are.
Cool. Cool. 1789. Ratification of the Constitution of the United States of America. Y'all embroiled in some scandal. Big strike to your influence, but not a big strike to your reputation. Little bump to your HOA, but the biggest thing is to your influence.
I think our family members in New York are have words with the South.
In 1789?
Mm-hmm. That peculiar occupation doesn't sit well with us. We don't like bondage. And that gets us in actual, like, no, for the time, a duel happens.
Very nice. A duel over a peculiar institution.
Yes.
A family member engages in a duel objecting to, would it perhaps be to say, because it's 1748, it's 1789, and things are happening in 1789 with the Constitution and the Constitutional Convention, would perhaps it might be fair to say that you objected to the Three-Fourths Compromise?
Yeah. And our family member was ungentlemanly in where the shot was placed. And they died because of it.
The opponent died. Well, Krellin, there will be some drama. We got some Dampier that they've fighting with. We got some
Faye,
Faye, they're
held a
pissing off.
grudge.
Now they've got, some duels going. Who are you dueling against? Well, what colony were they from?
I want to say they're from they're from the Carolinas.
One of the Carolinas?
Yeah,
Let's go with North. Just for young hothead.
yeah. Young hothead couldn't have an open casket funeral because the shot was placed right between the eyes.
What?
Young hothead couldn't have a open casket funeral because the shot was placed right between the eyes.
Yeah, that's headshots. Don't try and well, I missed when I tried to shoot up in my gentlemanly duel.
No, there was no denying that they shot to kill and they were deadly accurate.
Yes, which is why you lose influence and your reputation only takes a small hit because it's one of those, ooh, other people talking about you. Now, 1820. A villain.
What's happening in 1820?
Oh, a number of things. Yep, hurricane, but if we want to be more particular, 1820 states, 1820 James Monroe was president. John oh hi, that's right. Well, I know some things that are big important things that are happening. James Monroe and John Marshall cannot stand each other and are actively well, it's not as bad as Madison and Marshall, but Monroe and Marshall hate each other's guts. Yes, Trooper, fallen angels who are into some stuff. You've got the Land Act going. You've got the Missouri Compromise becoming law. Roe wins unopposed, effectively.
Okay. So there's a renegade in the house.
I would also like to point out, ironically, that this is the year that William Tecumseh Sherman is born on February 8th.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know how Ooh, I'm gonna have to add that to my notes because William Tecumseh Sherman is born on February 8th, and the burning of George of Savannah happens in this also in this year. August, I want to say. Um, irony.
So, yeah, I think whoever was in the capital at that time
Mm-hmm.
backed Monroe against the family's wishes.
Okay.
And made certain the Missouri Compromise happened.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. X James Monroe for president against family's wishes ensures the Missouri Conference.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
to just turn this up and give you even more knives. This member of the family, in the falling out, um, they leave the family, and they join with downstairs.
Ooh, leave the family and join the damned.
Yes.
Because they're not the same thing. Thank you, Trooper. Thank you, Crit. Thank you, Coldrake. Reminder, if you wish to give gifts of luck points on days when those games are not playing, they go to me as the GM. Four. I would like to point out that I have a really nice dragon who's, doing a things.
Yeah.
Trooper's like, uh-oh. uh, so.
So, what happens next?
What happens next is I get another luck point. But I split any ones that I get over the course of the week between the Saturday game and the Sunday game. Evenly. 1861 to 1865. Victory.
Those damn Yankees.
Is there a particular band of damn Yankees you wish to join?
We're with Sherman.
William Tecumseh Sherman. The family supports the Union in the Civil War. Oh, look, the family are carpetbaggers. Good to know.
Yep. Incredibly violent ones, too.
Because they're damned Yankees. Well, they're not damned. They're not members of the damned. They're supports the Union during the Civil War. Join Sherman's regiment from Maine. Sense. Then the family, carpetbaggers.
Mm-hmm.
But their favor, so their carpetbaggers is granted. We'll just tweak this in 1864 and say this is actually tied to 1865, and you're granted land as part of Reconstruction.
That works.
But who gains the favor? Favor from Sherman to or what?
I think this this is a different member of the family. This isn't Murmur. This is family name is yeah. This will be Azrael.
Azrael?
Yep.
That's not spelled correctly. Feel free to tweak it. You know I cannot.
You got it. Um,
Okay. Also,
uh,
yay! I made my follower goal. Yay! I'll try and get. Um.
but yeah. No, this is Asriel. He was Sherman's doctor.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. 1893. Sea Islands hurricane. Family is now established in Georgia, Savannah. What? Where? What are you doing for that infrastructure that you got?
Um, again, this is another familial. The family is now moving everybody to Georgia. It just so happens that the Fae respond violently to our moving in. There's just a wee hurricane that happens because they're displaced. Uh,
All right. So, family moves everyone to Georgia. The hurricane, I'm here for it, is actually. I don't want to say it was created, but I think it would be made worse, right?
yeah,
Is actually made worse and shifted landfall.
Yes.
Because a Fae family objects.
Yes. Strongly.
Strongly, vehemently. OP family rivalry engage. I mean, yeah.
Okay, they were already here and were carpetbaggers that joined along with Sherman. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. All right, so where are we put? We got a 1 and a 5. Where are you putting those? Remembering, of course, you've maxed out. You've
Maxed out magic.
Maxed out magic for level.
I think the 5 goes into people.
For now. People. All right.
And 1 goes into HOA.
Okay. All right. People. Plenty of opportunities to make money off the carpetbaggers. Yep. 1914 to 1918, y'all have some victory. A small boost to HOA, a larger boost to influence, but overwhelming boost to magic out of world.
Oh, we went and we raided.
Whom? Whom in particular? Now, admittedly, the Americans were mostly in France, but there were some naval engagements in the Mediterranean, mostly caravan or guarding.
No, the Murmur and members of the family were in the trenches.
Oh. Uh, Are you at the Battle of the Bon? Or Battle of the Somme? Somme. Battle of the Somme.
No, because that's
too far before the Americans get there.
Yeah.
Sorry, did not mean to whistle in all his ears. We're in the trenches in France.
We were there, and yeah. Again, Murmur's trick of hiding people. So those trench raids happened real.
Hiding combatants during trench raids. I can see it. I can seize it. All right. All right. 1928. Glory. You get yourselves a big old boost to land and magic. A decent sized boost to reputation, a small boost to HOA, but another big, decent sized boost to. But wait, hold on.
I think um, this is when the family makes themselves more known within Savannah by um, Savannah wasn't nearly quite as hardly impacted.
Not really. I mean, there isn't a large industrial complex in Savannah at this time. There isn't going to be a large industrial complex in Savannah forever. There just isn't. The population never gets that big, but and it becomes the playground for the Uber. Like during
Yeah,
the golden
the
era,
Gilded Age.
the Gilded Age, it becomes a Tybee becomes a playground for the uber wealthy of New York. Long Island and Tybee. Go down to
Yep.
go to
No,
the beach in Georgia.
I think this is the time where it's like, okay, um, instead of places closing, places open. Uh, I like the idea of some of the family property being you at this time you cannot enter or exit Savannah without passing by one of the family's gas stations.
Ooh, very nice. Family starts investing in gas stations along the highways. I have a very important question, sir. Is your family going to be are they are we talking Pilot, Circle K, or Love?
Circle K.
There we go. Truck stops. Circle K. But what is that?
We know who comes in and out.
You do. Good choice to avoid Stuckey's. Look, Stuckey's doesn't exist yet, and that's a lot further, well, west. For some reason, this made me think of Lex Luthor and Christopher Reeve's Superman movie. Lex Luthor, he said, "You can print money, manufacture diamonds, and people are a dime a dozen, but they'll always need land. One thing they're not making any more of." It's not wrong.
But yeah, no, this is a point where it's like, no, we're investing. Like, no, the automobile is the future. And
Did you get it? Did you find out that Henry Ford made a deal with one of y'all cousins?
um
Or no. The Dodge brothers made a deal against Henry Ford with one of y'all's cousins?
uh I love the idea that our fallen cousin is the one that made the Dodge deal.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, the Dodge brothers object to the way that Henry Ford is basically ensuring that his company makes money and continues to function by saying that they're not making enough money and not getting enough deals as shareholders. So they sue Ford and force him to sell stocks and then go off and form. All right. 1941 to 1945. You get a massive boost in reputation. You get a decent sized chunk of magic. You get a a big boost to influence, power, population, and wealth. Really, the only thing that's a small boost is land. Which theater were you fighting in, and how much were you invested in making money for certain industry?
So, are you familiar with the USS Texas?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the family.
Battleship Texas. She did survive World War One.
Yep.
And then she gets part of D-Day, and she's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when she runs out of spicy Volvos to fire upon the Germans, um, goes out, comes back, finds out that can't get close enough, floods tanks to
Mm-hmm.
adjust angle, and then commences firing.
Yep. The Texas. Okay, so who's on the Texas?
Um, I think this is when Asriel goes from like Angel Doc to no, we're embracing the warrior part of the family now.
Okay.
So Asriel's there on the Texas, along with a number of other family members.
Or is Azrael still a doc, but he's just the ship's doctor and is publicly the ship's surgeon?
Publicly the ship's surgeon, but there are also other family members on board, and yeah, no. Can't. So, blessing the artillery, it's really nothing. It's just a nice little set of words before it gets fired off.
Well, remembering, of course, that 1941 is when in this game, this timeline, this history, um, the supernatural can no longer hide.
Yeah, no, the
So, is this a case of the family going, well, we can no longer officially hide, but
yeah,
we're just not going to tell them, fallen angel, not the thing, but we can say we give that little bit of yeah, we're special. Here, let me bless your tanks.
let let us bless the ammo. Um, let us bless the ship. Um, let us make sure that all that bombardment hits precisely where it needs to.
Yep, praise the Lord and blast the ammunition.
Yes.
Um, Look, do you know that there are 18 verses to that song?
I did not know there were 18, but
There are also 15 verses to the plastic Jesus on the dashboard of my car. Yep. Texas is a very important ship. All right. So, as of right now, before we put your bonus die in, we're going to get to the numbers. We'll put the bonus die in, and then we'll take a short break while we refresh our beverages, maybe snacks, and then kind of fill in the rest of the family history beats. Um, so Uh, what are we going to put the before we go on break? You're sitting
Mhm.
at a 45 for HOA, which is you've won the Golden Garden Award
Yeah.
and it will be yours again. You're at a 66 for influence. Y'all, the kingmakers, no one gets elected without your say so. A 54 in wealth, your family be rich. A 47 in population, you have a large, your extended family, and you employ a few people at a single store or office. So you have a large extended family and you have employees. You have a 60 in land, right? Land, yeah, 60 in land. You own your house, some small farm property in the country, and a small office building. A 53 in reputation. You're always on the invitation list. Your family's small eccentricities are seen as a delight at dinner parties. And a max 71 magic. You have your family has one of the largest well springs of magic in the country, maybe the continent. So, we're going to take a short break, everybody. Stretch, bio, do all those good things. And when we come back, we're going to finish out the bonus die and we're going to find some details they're filling in because I need to know some more information about these. But we'll come back to everything in a little bit, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you stretched, refreshed, bioed, did all of the good things, and now we are into part 2 of building Hope's house, as he will build and play in this game. We are getting ready to put in your bonus die, remembering that the tiers jump on the 11s. 1, 11, 21, 31, 41, 50, 61. And you're sitting at a 45 HOA, 66 influence, a 54 wealth, 47 patient, or 47 population, 60 land, 53 reputation, and maxed out at a 71 on. Can't hear you. So I think you might be muted.
With that in mind, I think we put one of the 6s into population as people.
Into what?
People.
Into people. The world must be peopled.
Yes.
66. You could put that 4 into. Oh, you put the you wanted the people in. Sorry, 53 people.
Yeah.
You could put a 1 in that land to go from a 60 to a 61, and that would jump you an entire tier.
Let's put a 3 so there's a little wiggle room.
Mm-hmm.
So 63.
You've got put a 6 in that HOA, go from a 45 to a 50.
Yeah, let's put the 6 in the HOA. So we're just there. And then we'll put the 5 into influence.
Well, technically, you're in the top tier in influence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anything above a 61.
In that case, let's put the 5 into wealth.
Okay. Brings you to a 50.
Let's put the 4 in magic to be solidly in magic so things can go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the other thing. When we get into it, you're in the top tier, but the values do have value because you spend within those stats for things like
For
expenses,
investments. Yeah.
investment. You're investing those stats in things. People going to college.
So we have 2 1s left. Let's round things out. Let's put a 1 in reputation and a 1 in influence.
Okay. Final totals, a 51 in HOA, which bumps you to y'all won the Garden Club Award 5 years running. Your roses are the envy of all. 67 in wealth or influence. Still kingmakers. Wealth is at a 59. Still rich. People is a 53. Your extended family employees of your 3 businesses. You have a lot. you're very and
Yes.
retainers. 63 in land. You own a plantation in the country, your large house, and a number of retail properties in the city. 54 in reputation. Again, still always on that invitation list. Your family's small eccentricities are seen as a delight at dinner parties. And a 75 in magic. Powerful. Yes. Yeah, so fun fact, we're going to take all of those investment points and I have to finish listing out how we're going to change them from the core book. But I figure those we're going to let people do off stream and then we'll know what happens. Plus, you'll always get house fortune rolls as the game goes on, which certain modifiers might be helpful.
Yes.
So,
Very much so.
alrighty. We are have your stats, we have the numbers.
Yeah.
Have now we need to go through and find out who some of these people are, right?
Yeah.
Fill in some little details. The first small detail is in 1497 when the family gains its landed noble title from Perkin Warbeck, which wasn't a good title, but they still end up keeping it with Henry VII.
Yeah.
Who is it that, are they knighted? Are they given, action? Because at this point, you're at a 37 in land at that point.
Yeah.
And you own the house, a small country property, and a small storefront in town.
Yeah. No, that says knighthood.
Yeah, it says landlord more than just land, almost landed gentry, right? Not just a standard knight and farm.
Okay, so
Or at least you end up.
I think it starts out as a knighthood, but then the family fills out the area. So while the title is not as grand, the control the family enjoys is greater than the the title that's on.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just suddenly had this moment where everything you said made sense and then no longer does. Um, so he was a knight who is granted land
Yeah.
and a noble title.
We'll say this. We'll make this the head of the family. We'll make this. Okay, let's go with that. Zachariah.
Zachariah. I have a very important question about Zachariah.
Yeah.
For my purely edification. One of the things I did in this game is for the lore in this world. Is that the divine and infernal exist. What they are or who they are is a person, and how they are defined as such, right? So this leads to my next question: is Zachariah an
Abrahamic?
Abrahamic fallen angel?
Yes, let's go with that.
And just because I'm that level of nerd, what choir did he sing with?
I can't remember the proper title, but he was an angel of death.
Oh, 9 heavenly choirs. 9. He's not an archangel. Angels, archangels, virtues, powers, principalities, dominations, throne, cherubim, and seraphim. Not a cherubim.
No, we can make him a seraphim. Well, no, seraphim are only the 7.
Yeah, and then the only thing above them were um yeah, the seraphim are the highest quality. Then there are the archangels, which are kind of like
he was a dominion then.
yeah, dominion, a dominion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually does something versus the seraphim, who are the burning ones. Lucifer, Lightbearer, was a cherubim who contemplate God, but less in himself than in his presence. Yeah, God, the next 3 fulfill the divine powers, and then there are the archangels who are like, hi, we actually have authority and the guardianship. Yeah. All right, so a dominion.
Yeah.
A dominion of death.
Yes.
A former dominion of death. Like, for those of you who don't know, in this series slash book called Good Omen, Carousel is a principality. Minion of Death. And it becomes a landed gentry. So I have to ask, did he fall? Well, he's not damned, or they're not damned, so he didn't fall with Lucifer.
No. He fell after Lucifer. Not too long after, because that was them going too far.
Falls after the
punishment
casting...
of the fallen is what drove Zachariah to go.
So it falls after the casting down of Lucifer.
Yeah.
And believed that the
Jehovah went too far.
Went too far. Okay. So obviously had done something else for a few eons before he ends up in Cornwall. It's like, what are you doing for a few weeks? I don't know, I'm just fucking messing around. And where are you gonna become famous? In Cornwall. Look, if you believe certain histories, that's where Glastonbury tours the entrance to Avalon. So, alright. So Zachariah stars in their multitude, yes. I don't have that song stuck in my head, Krillin.
Yes, I am Javert. So.
Can't sing it because
it's a baritone song. One of the few lyric baritone songs out there.
This is true. It is a lyric baritone song, which means technically I can physically sing it as a well. But DMCA would not. Don't mess around. Not with that one. All right. So, okay. Next question: is the whole family fallen, or is it a mix of fallen?
It's all fallen.
All fallen, so no human members of the family, no crossbreeding happening.
No. We see where that goes, and it's too painful. That is the family line.
Good to know. Um, who is actually whispering in Elizabeth's ear? That's still Raya.
No, that's when Murmur steps up.
Okay, so Murmur starts becoming the face of the family or the head of the family?
Face them. Like Zachariah is the head. Murmur's the face.
Um, Murmur. So what? Murmur is a poor poor virtue?
No. Murmur's a principality.
Ooh, very good. Principality of what? Where? Is he from Cornwall? Is he a
Yeah.
Principality of Wales?
Yeah. No. The Welsh principality.
Is it Wales as a whole or us? Is it like
No, it's Wales as a whole.
Okay. Former. You know you're giving me way too. I'm gonna have to make way too many. Game, right?
Hey, go for it. No, the poor virtue is Azrael.
The poor virtue is what?
Azrael. Azrael's the virtue.
Oh, Azrael is a virtue?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Azrael is a virtue, is a former virtue of what?
Of the wind.
Oh yeah, because
because
it's the actual definition of virtue, not what we believe is the definition. Virtue comes from the word vir, meaning, and it actually comes from the word veritus, means masculine, strong, powerful. Virtue of the wind. Cool. All right. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
They're fallen angels. They don't die. They're not damned, and they haven't become mortal. So they're just, you know, lesser than they were. Did Zachariah fall, or did he saunter vaguely downwards?
He fell. He fell. Because again, like the majority of the family falls like shortly after, I should say, the punishment of Lucifer and his hosts. Like it you made your point, but you went too far.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. And so we're going to listen to your command and love your creation. Will be us.
We're gonna listen to your love for all creation and not here.
Yeah.
Here for it. Okay. So, who is our friendly damned cousin who's supporting James Monroe?
Samael.
Oh,
I'll spell it.
Samiel, correct?
No, A-E-L.
Ael.
Samael.
Welcome in, Malk. Yes, Pope is going to be playing in this game, and we're building his house, and Samael is
Samael's a fallen power.
fallen power of what is no
Powers are warriors.
yeah well, technically he's also an archangel.
Well,
According to the Talmud, the Talmudic tradition, not according to the Judeo, not according to the other members.
I'm sorry, if you're going to have a like host upon host of angels, some of the names are going to get doubled.
Yeah, this is true. All right, so he's a power.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Samael be a power of.
Well, yeah, they're warriors, but sure, let's.
Yeah, they're warriors. It's just is he a warrior for fallen power? Warrior angel. When does he fall?
He actually falls quite late. He falls during the Black Plague. They're praying to you. They believe in you. Why aren't you saving them?
Yeah, free will. It's a bitch, yo.
Why aren't you saving them?
Wait, you guys got a big. You had a windfall. What was your population boost in 1940? Yeah. How many. That windfall you got. How many new fallen joined the family after, the trial of God? Which, if you have not watched, go on to pbs.org, look it up, spend like the $3 a year to become a member for PBS Passport. Look for the great performances. Look up the Trial of God and be emotionally complicated, but for a while. But
the ranks swelled in the family. Like the population of Savannah after the war increased.
Yeah, for lots of people.
Yeah, but
family ranks swelled due to newly fallen in response to the Holocaust. I mean, look, okay. So semi. Is the because the Dodge deal. Okay. So who is the one who goes to Georgia?
That is I need to look up something to spell.
Go right ahead. Hawkeye is voting for Malachi.
No, no, Malachi's a young one. um, that is Alsatia.
Yeah, you're going to have to put that in the Zoom chat.
I'm going to. She is the one that goes.
Okay. Okay. Uh, does she go as very important question here. Does she go as a female presenting individual or does she disguise herself?
Disguise. Goes by Al. Or I should say Alan at this time.
Alan?
Yes, goes by Alan at this time during with the Mortals.
Okay. Cool. So. The Fae that you were fighting with.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Ireland, not. So they're not the
Yeah.
Lafayettes.
No.
They're still in France. Could I get you, please, to roll me a D6?
6.
Roll me another D6.
1.
Cool. We have ended up with Seelie and a joint Seelie and Dryad family that you are messing with.
Wonder the hurricane got worse.
Yes, the Seelie declare a turn in 1 minute. Which is why.
Like, who have they not declared eternal enmity to, honestly?
The Selkies, actually. And the Were Tigers. Or, well, the Were Sand Tiger Shark.
2 out of a population of what?
Look, we don't know. There might be other people.
Doubtful.
So these are members of the I'm going to tell you something mechanically now for your personal information. Your family is prevented from entering the refuge. You know, the dryads that currently live here, their supernatural refuge. I mean, part of it may be personal.
It's personal.
But as they tell you, it's not their fault that they had to consecrate the ground to make sure that the protection wards held.
Mm-hmm. And yet, I see you're also not on church on Sunday, so try that again.
It's just consecrated to a particular. It doesn't have to be consecrated to your Christian God. I guess that's a question. How did y'all get around the I don't see you in church on Sunday, but still maintain that always being invited to things reputation?
That is an excellent question.
Particularly in Savannah, when the family settles down, right? Like you can
Yeah.
kind of get away with it at the earlier portions of your family history, so, up
Actually,
until
I
about 1730.
Zachariah doesn't like it, but Alsatia took precautions ahead of time, and there is a church that is a desecrated site that we use.
Oh, oh, would that
Yeah,
be probably part of your ascent, right? Because that's part of that
yeah.
when she like in the
In the early days, without the head of the family or the face of the family being around to tell her no, uh, she did what she needed to in order to survive.
did she desecrate this church or was it desecrated and she appropriated or kind of hand waved people remembering that it was desecrated?
I think hand wave people.
Did she encourage those individuals who maybe did desecrate it?
Encourage is a strong word.
Was she there pouring the last beer before they left to do so?
I don't think it was a glass of beer, but I do think that um, those youths were egged on.
Oh, Hawkeye, we call those Chris and East boys.
In the Episcopal Church, we refer to them as money
Also fair.
because of all the guilt they donate. You typically significantly during those two holidays.
So Alsatia took precautions of not stopping
Oh, most definitely.
some youths from desecrating which one? Church of Christ or Baptists? Well, it's 1754, so probably not the Baptists, maybe the Church of Christ.
No, Church of Christ.
Then hand waved it, you know, encouraged people to forget.
Mm-hmm.
That the events took place.
Just so happens to be in the family property. Um,
And then it's the within the family, you know, it's within the family property. Is that what we're saying?
yeah.
There we go. I mean, the halls probably have an altar to Hecate in the shop somewhere, and death at the farm. Exactly. I do not think this family is going into the Hall's shop or on their farm. Maybe go. Do you go shop at the Halls? I mean, do you shop at Hall's Sundry? Well, you might stop at the actual. You might have shopped at the sundries before when the back room was still in the back room, and because it wouldn't have sanctified the entire building. You know, um, doubtful if they hate. I mean, yeah, it's not that they hate the Fae. It's that Hope's family may have screwed over a particular family of Fae. Um, at some point in their family history. Oh yeah, that might be the Hall. Your relationship with the Hall is real.
And the Lafayette.
Look, the Incubus are gonna like you. Maybe.
Distant cousins.
It's PB. It could go anywhere.
Distant cousins.
Look, I think I'm gonna be pissed that you didn't tell them that they were living on consecrated ground for 30, 40, almost 100 years.
We thought they would have figured it out. You know that burning sensation's a sign, right?
We don't get that burn. We thought that was just heartburn.
No.
Sorry. All right, so where are we now? Okay, so who's the family member getting engaged in a duel? I do not see Zachariah getting engaged in a
duel. No.
I do not see Murmur getting engaged in it. I really don't see Alsacia doing it either.
It's not Alsacia. It's not Asriel. We'll have to remember that.
We have to find somebody.
We have so many.
We have so many. We just have so many family members.
Yeah. Okay. This is Dante.
Algieri, or just Dante.
This is just Dante.
Dante.
Dante's a power. Dante got in a duel. The guy shouldn't have. Nope. You got into a fight with a literal angelic warrior. What did you think was going to happen?
Zachariah's like, why did you kill him? I was like, handed me a weapon.
It was the point. He challenged me.
I was just saying what was right. Yeah. Okay, we know who Dante is. Question.
Yeah.
When did Dante fall?
Oh. To even let's just lean further in. Dante fell while back. Dante fell with the crucifixion of Christ.
With the crucifixion itself or the aftermath?
The crucifixion. Like, you're doing what?
Dying for your sins. Or their sins.
No. You have there's an entirely already established, perfectly good religion. He is the Messiah. No. Like, Dante got upset with the temptation of Christ.
Then he fell with the crucifixion of Christ. He's like,
yeah.
Why are you making this more complicated?
No.
He's supposed to be the Messiah. Why not? I don't understand. There was a religion. We had a religion. I had a job. Now I've got to do. I see Dante.
No.
I see Dante. Dante at the Crusader. You know, one of the soldiers in at the base of the cross.
No. Let's go a step further.
Oh, he may had a different. He had a friend whose name was Cassius, and Longus.
No, he's the one who helped carry the damn thing.
Oh, there we go. He helps the Roman soldier who helps carry the cross.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Literally. Oh, well, that's not a Roman soldier.
No, it's not. I can't remember. I believe he's the one who buys the Founders Field.
Hey, Mandy, yeah. Welcome
in. Thank you, Hawk.
Simon, thank you. I was like, who's that? I was like, wait, I had to go through the stations of the cross to come back. Hey there, welcome in, everyone who came over with Mandy from Lady Luck. I am your friendly neighborhood prax. I use she, her pronouns. Welcome to the stream. We are doing some house building for my wonderful friend Pope here, who will be a player in my upcoming game. If this is your first time, thank you for coming in. I play a lot of video games, but I also do a lot of TTRPGs, and we're getting ready to do a Southern Gothic urban fantasy game set in Savannah, Georgia, starting in 1945 and going through to 2000. If you want to hang out and chill and relax after your lucky raid, just go ahead and click that little circle down below or click the refresh button above, and then you'll actually count as a real person and not just, a wonderful Twitch. What were you doing tonight, Mandy? Was tonight, Was tonight sewing, or was it more Zelda? Oh, finishing Link's Awakening. Oh, Sayonara Wild Hearts. Hope is playing officially the most powerful house in this cul-de-sac, excuse me, not cul-de-sac, subdivision, post-war subdivision. And a family of fallen angels. Not damned, merely fallen. A couple of them maybe. I feel like Murmur sauntered vaguely downward. Zachariah fell. Dante got really, really angry and fell. And Azriel...
No, Dante stormed out.
Dante stormed out and maybe,
slammed the door on the way out.
Slammed the door, but it bounced a couple times on the frame. And Azriel is just like, wait, what? Oh, no, I'm over here now. Cool. Someone went to go look for Azriel and was like, wait, where are you? Oh, I've been over here for like 300 years. It's fine.
I've been working.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah, broke the hinges. All right. And then Alsatia was just like, yes, and? Of course I fell. What? You expected me to do something else? That's who that is. Among other things. All right, so... Okay. I need to know about these damn fear.
Oh.
That you, manufacture a scandal to prevent them from going... We need to know, A, what the scandal is that would get them picked from the boat, and B, who they are, because they're obviously English.
Okay. There are multiple layers to this.
Hit me with it.
So, one of the families from the old country had a scion, and they left to England, um, and were doing well. Um, but you see, there was this, there had already been established under Liz a series of mystics, and it may have slipped that the individuals in question weren't human. And that there were ways to test for this.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, what year is this? This is 1733. We're no longer burning people, but did you get this guy hung?
Drowned.
Not that it really did anything because, he probably got up and walked away, but it was complicated for a while for him.
Yeah.
Who 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 whispered in James's sweet little ear? Excuse me, William and Mary's sweet little ear. No, 1733. George first. Queen Anne. List of English monarchs, 1733. Act of the Union. Mm-hmm. Okay, make it more complicated by sending. Anna's dead in 17. It's George the Second, actually.
All right. This is where we're going to take on Hawkeye's suggestion of Malachi. Malachi is Murmur's protege, and this was one of his first assignments.
George Second. Malachi is Murmur's protege, and this was an early assignment.
Yes.
Okay, so then who's Malachi?
Malachi is Malachi is another virtue. Malachi is a virtue of the moon.
The virtue of the what?
Moon.
Oh, okay. I heard Minutemen for a minute. I was very confused.
No.
And when did he fall?
Malachi fell right around the time of, let's see here, I want to say, yeah, when all those indulgences were happening, that got Malachi fought.
Oh, what's his name? The German.
When the Protestant Reformation happened,
the Protestant Reformation,
or when Martin Luther went, like, Malachi had already fell by the time Martin Luther like nailed stuff on the door.
So fell.
But because all those indulgences were not okay with Malachi.
Fell during the,
like, right before the Protestant Reformation was when Malachi fell.
The 15th century, and it's in the corporatization of the indulgences, which, you know, fair. Prior to Martin Luther, but you
Yeah.
know. All right. Okay. So we've got Malachi. Okay, so majority of the family moves to the New World British colonies. Is this the point where Zachariah moves the whole
Yes.
family? So
Zachariah and the European theater family has left the building.
So where is Zachariah? Okay, so is Zachariah? Fun fact: the Peace Accords between the Protestants and the Catholics happened at Augsburg, Germany, which is one of the reasons why Augsburg is one of the more has one more holiday than anywhere else in Germany. Yep. Yes. Leads to my next very important question. All right, so 1945. Azariel is doing things. Is Zachariah? I mean, I'm assuming Zachariah is still the head of the family.
Yes.
And Murmur is still the face of the family.
Yes.
How do they present up until the point of revelation?
Again, it's like I mentioned earlier. It's very much like the Hatfields and McCoys. It's a giant familial clan. That's all together. And when people start mentioning like significant differences in looks, there's adoptees into the family.
Yes, we adopt a lot of people. It is our Christian duty.
For our brothers and sisters, with the church, these things. And family land, family church. There's a lot of stuff going
on. There's a lot going on. So what store do they run? Like, what is their business?
The first move in war is their business because they're mercenaries, but then
that's fair. Like, are we just gonna lean into the stereotype and say they're in banking?
No. Banking is where you actually have demons, and no.
Fair.
Like the Gilded Age happened for a reason, and most of it was infernal. Not all of it, but yeah, no. Like aside from the gas stations, I think the other significant like I think the family has like there is not one single business because the family is too numerous and too disparate for that to be a thing.
So what we're gonna say is that the family likes to diversify with its.
There's many specialties amongst the family members, and they need to be given an outlet. Otherwise, things happen.
Yes, what happens is that Dante gets involved with a duel.
What happens is Dante gets involved in politics, and all of a sudden somebody's dead.
Look, I just want to know what Zachariah's response to that message was like. I'm sorry, you did what? And you did where?
It's one thing. It's war, wartime amongst the mortals to slay one of them. There's another to slay one on principle. Again, Zachariah is head of the family because he was part of Heaven's middle management.
Yes. It's true. He is a Dominion. He is all middle management. You forget that, yo. He's just middle management. Okay. So, in public up until this point.
Oh, no, I actually have a, like the majority of the family's holdings. I actually have an idea.
Okay.
They really invest in the entire vehicle thing. So, like the repair shops, gas station, junkyard, the whole works is all the family's business.
Family leans hard into
everything automotive.
Into the entire automotive industry.
Yes.
Yes. The prevalence and expansion of automobile industry is because of fallen angels. Makes sense. No, what I wanted to ask was, so we know what they do for where they claim for the money is, but they don't age and they don't die. How did they hide this up until this point? Or did they, or did they just, have subtle magics that were like, you don't see nothing? I'm Zachariah the 18th.
There was a lot of playing with people's memories. Lots. Lots of playing with people's memories and having certain family or friends in, all those places that keep records.
Okay, so
being able to alter them. This is part of the reason why the family cultivated so much influence over all the years, was to be able to hide themselves in plain sight.
Family hides in plain sight and uses...
They perfected the Clark Kent methodology of hiding one's identity before Superman was written.
Okay, so then let's lead to the question. In 1945, Zachariah's, what happens in 1941? Okay, so we know what they do in the Texas, right?
Yeah. We know what Azrael and a number of the family members were doing on the Texas.
Yeah, which is how you end up with a windfall. But what is, like, did Zachariah as the head of the family or Murmur? I guess the question is, look, based purely on your HOA, you have status to burn. You're going to have a head of house and an heir, at least one, right? The power and influence that you have. You have status, and your influence is going to give you status to burn. Is Murmur the heir, or is it, mechanically speaking, he's the face of the family?
I think Murmur is the heir. Should something actually happen to Zachariah?
Okay.
Because Murmur has been the face for so long, they're essentially Zachariah's lieutenant.
Okay. prior to this, prior to 1941, or whenever the family chose to reveal themselves after the revelation of December 7th. About did Zachariah present himself as a widower? Did he have a relationship with anybody? Did he call, what would somebody on the street believe was the family dynamic?
Familial dynamic between Zachariah and Murmur?
Just in general, in the family in general, right? Like, definitely Zachariah and Murmur, because Zachariah is the head of the family and Murmur is the face of the family. And you have a couple of these others. Dante's reading a lot younger. Well,
yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
But,
The read is that Zachariah and Murmur are brothers. As, like, again, you have the quiet one, which is Zachariah, and then you have the one that talks. Who's Murmur? Who I think at this point is going by Mason.
When would he have picked up that 1914 or by 1940?
I think the Mason name got picked up right around World War I.
Cool. Murmur picks up the public name of Mason. People in town believe that Zachariah and Mason are brothers, and Mason is younger by what? Like 5 years, maybe?
4 years.
Is there also a Dixon? No, but there's a Dante.
Yeah, there's a Dante.
There might be a Dixon. There might be a Dixon, given just how big this family is.
Yes, no, but Dante goes by Dante. Dante means well.
Dante is the angry, hot-headed teenager. No, but he's not. He's not the angry, hot-headed teenager. He is the legitimate warrior who's been trained for this, who knows exactly what he's doing, and still lets his emotions get the better of him. He's fucking Thor.
In a way. No, Dante means well. Dante was not built for heaven or earth. We don't know what Dante was built for, but it's not neither of these.
Okay. So, is there a public facing... Oh, Alsatia is not the public facing, like, matriarch of the family. She's the daughter.
No, she is not the matriarch, but she's you know how the matriarch makes the plans, and then there's the daughter that disseminates those plans?
Yeah, it's called the eldest daughter problem.
Yeah, that's Alsatia. Alsatia's the eldest daughter of the family.
You have a child, or were you the...
No. Again, the reason for I was sent off to do something, and I did what I needed to survive.
Yes, exactly. So, publicly speaking, or even privately, there is no, up until this point, Zachariah has no, like,
no, I think
romantic relationship.
I think he has a public-facing one. Let's put in a matron of the family show.
Okay, so we have a matron of that was what I was trying to think.
Yeah.
Like, you're hiding, but at the same time you're not. So you could have gotten away without having one of a.
No, let's.
There's a public-facing marriage between blank Zachariah and whom? Who are they?
Casca, also known as Kimberly,
What?
at this point.
Sorry. Whom? Keska.
Yeah.
Keska. Who is Keska?
Let me think here. Um, yeah. Um, Casca is an archangel.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. Are we going with the modification that there are more than just 4 archangels?
Yes. There was a shift in play when the first war happened. Some people had to be raised due to vacancies.
When did Keska fall?
Um, Casca fell with the flood.
Okay. Was her problem with the wholesale flood itself, or the destruction of the Nephilim?
Both.
All of it. Just all of it.
Just all of it. Just like already had the opinion that went too far with Lucifer and the others, but sort of just kept that inside.
Yeah, and then
Well, and then no. You are hurting your own again.
okay. I'm here for all of this. Okay. We've got Keska. Alright, so there you have a public facing marriage in her matron and patriarch family. I have to know for my edification, just because I need to know. Is it an actual romantic relationship or just a public facing?
It depends on the century.
Ooh. Ooh, I like. I like.
That is a hot and cold running relationship.
I guess the question is in 1941, where does it currently at? 1945, I should say.
It's cold because Zach stayed at the homestead. Keska left during the war.
So Zach stayed in Georgia and Keska went where?
To Britain.
Presenting which gender? Out of curiosity.
Female. She was with the Code Breakers.
Ooh. At Bletchley?
Yeah.
Ooh, Keska went. Zacher.
She's the one that hinted at doing all the war games.
So did Zachariah serve at all?
No, he stayed home.
Cool. Are there any progeny, or are all of these just fallen angels who've kind of
All,
there's no yeah, I think we've established this, that we said that there were no Nephilim because there are no
yeah,
crossbreed between uh mortals and fallen.
no progeny. They're just all fallen.
They just kind of
Because,
all come together.
again, progeny cause problems.
Yes, indeed.
Um, to put in Zachariah's words, we are willful enough without complications.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Obviously, he recognizes that these would be complications. Games have to have octopus support. Look, Trooper is saying, I'm pretty sure you can play an uplifted octopus space. I would like to point out, Trooper, that you could play an enlightened uplifted octopus in Blue Rose too. It might be more difficult, but you could do it. Remembering, of course, the magically uplifted hawk. All right, so we've got that. We've got that. I think. I think. Think I've answered all my questions. Moment. Yeah, I think I've got it. You have anything you want to add at this point in the story of the family? Or anybody else in the family that we need to introduce? No people? Because you have a
Yeah,
very large one.
we have a large family.
Oh, wait, we do know what we need to do. You have a couple employees, right? And you've
Yeah,
got the gas stations and the
junkyard and the repair shops.
yeah. So repair shops are probably attached to the gas station.
Yeah,
The junkyard is its own thing. So where are the guys are in charge of gas ration? Which is why Zachariah didn't go. Considered operational and the important. Where are Krakens? Where are Krakens or why there are no tiger sharks in it? Maybe. We don't know. Also probably true. Uh the sand tiger shark. But I need to know a couple of your employees. Are they all fallen angels or are they human attendants?
they're not human.
Ooh, whom do we have that are acting as attendants?
Um, there has been an effort um, after Samael's fall to try and reform those that were first punished.
Oh, so you've been hiring a bunch of demons.
Yes.
Cool. Family hires demons to work at the auto shops.
It's also how your hot rod becomes a hot rod.
That'll be in the 1950s. We'll find out.
Like you. No. Prohibition was a thing.
This is
running
true.
running
Yes,
cars in moonshine was a thing.
this is
And
true. This is
no,
true. And running.
those folks knew how to.
Yeah, you souped your engines for all those we're souping up your engine to go faster than the revenue man. Um,
Yeah, they they run most of the shops in town. They're the ones that worked on both the outlaws and the cops' cars.
mm-hmm. Um, is there any one of those demon employees that are important for the general purposes of the family?
Uh, yeah, yeah. There's a couple.
Yeah, I was like, I knew we had left somebody out.
Yeah, yeah, we have. Okay. Oh dear. So there's Oscar.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna make a new. Gonna make a new column.
Oh, this makes too much sense. Damn
All
it.
right. Um,
Who's
there's Oscar.
yeah?
What
Who
can
is
I?
also known as Arobus.
Uh huh. And who is Orbus?
Um,
He a mechanic or he run the shop?
uh, he's the one that runs the junkyard. Um, he runs it now. He used to guard the junkyard, but now that everything's out in the open,
Yeah.
he runs the junkyard because Arobus has a flaw.
He a dog?
No, Arobus can't lie.
Oh, there we go. Neither can the Fae. Um,
No, Arobus can't lie. He's that kind of demon. Um, has perfect information about the past.
mm-hmm.
That sort of problem. So yeah, no, he runs the junkyard now.
All right, so we got Oscar.
Yeah. Um, we have literal Jezebel.
The famous one. How'd she end
No,
up a demon?
no, this is just the name that she's adopted.
Oh, a name she has adopted. That works.
Yes.
Who, is there,
Jeranos is the actual name.
I've got too many things open at the moment. I've lost what I needed. Please, while I find it. There it is. Uranosis.
Mhm.
Jezebel, aka Uranosis.
Jeranos.
Uranos. Name she has adopted. And what does she do for the family?
Um, she runs one of the uh, stations. The one specifically at the divide between the right side and the wrong side of the tracks. because every town has one by this time.
Mind you, it's not where there is that divide. It's more cultural, but it's not about the tracks because of where the tracks function in Savannah. Mostly because the tracks technically follow the river up out of Savannah. And the rest of the city is built below the river.
Yeah.
But yes, that makes sense.
That's Jezebel operates that specific gas station. Uh, uh, and then there's Mikey.
Mikey, he likes it. He really likes it. Well, we know his name isn't Michael.
Nope. Marinolf.
Cool. What does Mikey do?
Mikey's an attorney.
All right. He is an attorney. There we go. We don't need to say nothing else. Thank you very much for leaning into that trope for me. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry. We are doing Southern Gothic. This has to be a
you
thing.
need a demon who's an attorney? Yes, you do. It's fine. I understand. No, not the local DA. No. Private attorney. Their family is involved in getting people elected. You don't put your own if you're at that level of a kingmaker, you don't put your own family in the positions of elective authority. You put your other people. Even your employees, you don't. Nah, he's not the local district attorney. He may have clerked for a judge at some point. But he is just a
He is clerked for many judges.
yes.
Mikey is someone that was acquired in New York.
Look, that could be a thing. All right.
Well, Mikey was acquired in New York when the family moved. Mikey's been with the family for a while. Mikey was the one that suggested they bring in more.
Was Mikey the first?
Mikey was the first.
Cool. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, now this family feels like it makes more sense and why they have such a. Yeah, we adopt plenty. We do not need children.
Yep. Yep, this makes a lot of sense. I'm here for all of this. Okay, so I have to ask the question, when did the family move into Carousel Court? Or were they one of the early adopters, like in the 20s when the first portions of the subdivision was built?
Yep.
They have a nice modified Queen Anne Victorian, or are we going for something a little more Gothic revival, or neoclassical interpretation of the plantation house?
No, because another black sheeps of the family are in this full-on neo-Gothic house.
Are y'all related to the Adamses? Is that in here?
Not quite.
Oh.
There is at least not a hand just running around.
Yes, you say that. But does Cousin It show up at your family gatherings on occasion?
this is the group that hosts, again, these are the folks that host visitors
Yep.
because the proper family cannot be seen with the visitors. Um,
No, Panda, we did not talk about the actual physical house. We need to talk about your actual physical house. Actually, you just design what the actual physical house of what you think your witches are getting up to, and then we will add it in. I have a plot map. It is a beautiful plot map.
no, this is a full-on neo-Gothic, very Adams-esque place, um, where
but not as run down as the Adamses are.
no. It's the roses are surprisingly magnificent. Um,
Well, you've won the Garden Awards for the past 5 years.
yes. Um, it's just the roses seemingly extra sharp.
Do you
Um,
have a hit of Rosemaids?
uh, no, we have a rose fence.
Oh. And do y'all host a garden party? You must have hosted. You have to host.
They have
It's 67 influence. You have to host a garden party at least
they,
once.
they, they have hosted many a party. Um, it's just I'm realizing more, but there is the very public face
Mm-hmm.
that gets up to all of the good works.
That would be
This is
Mason.
the other. This is the other side. This is the family that now everything's out. It's time to be making friends. Um,
All right, so Mason is the public face of the family. Zachariah, I mean, like this thing is like we've got the family. The family is there, but Zachariah is the
yeah,
head of the family. Mason is the
yeah,
brother. But
yeah. Mason's not here. Mason's not in Carousel. I think Mason actually lives. Since there's multiple properties, I think the office building that
has an
they
apartment.
has an apartment where Mason lives.
Okay, so Neo Gothic revival house early on the sub. Mason lives in an apartment in office building. The family owns downtown. Up and find out where the family. Okay.
No. There's a number of folks that live in this house. The primary is Mercer.
Who?
Mercer.
Mercer.
Yep.
Not someone we've been talking about yet.
No, that's because again, this is the last different public side of the family.
Okay, so
Different.
let's say that Mercer, Zachariah and
Casca.
Pesca
They live at
in the plantation.
Yeah, they live in the plantation.
Um,
along with Alsatia.
Yeah, with Alsatia. Their daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're okay. So Mercer lives on Carousel Court. Is Mercer going to be your first?
Yeah.
PC? Ah, well, we're going to leave a little bit about Mercer. Well, we need to know.
There's
a few things.
We need to know a few things, like when he fell,
and what he was before, as we've established with everybody else.
Yeah. So Mercer fell in World War I.
Was is that where Dante picked him up?
He, Murmur.
Oh yeah, Murmur. Is that where Murmur picked him up? Sorry.
Yeah, because his falling was public.
But enough that was that Murmur hit it.
Yes. Yeah, when all of a sudden that entire cloud of mustard gas that could have killed a bunch of people just disappears and there's a random dude just standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was Mercer before?
Um, hmm. um, Mercer. Mercer was a virtue.
Mercer was a virtue of what?
Mercer was a virtue of earth.
All right. Well, we're not gonna dive too.
Actually, no.
No.
Mercer was lower. Mercer was a guardian angel.
Oh, there we go. That makes sense.
And he fell in.
Yeah. Well, if you're a guardian angel of pit troop of trench troops in World War One, y'all had a hard time.
Yeah, no, we need to be hands on.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Oh, does Mason, aka Murmur, have any public-facing relationship?
Um, no, there's a private relationship.
Ooh, very nice.
Um, Mason and Mikey are awfully friendly.
Okay, I gotta ask this next question. Yeah. Has that relationship been perhaps an impetus to why Mason encouraged Zachariah that they could be saved? Did that relationship predate Mikey's employment?
No. It's a relationship that happened after Mikey's employment, but definitely led to more of the old family being brought in. As again, Mason's very good with words.
Yes, he is. Cool. And given the way that this world is changing and things are happening, there's a lot happening and changing so quickly right now. That might be very different. All right. All right. Do we need anything about this family? Oh, Dante and Azrael.
Yeah.
Do they have relationships, public, private, or? And how do they present themselves to their relation to the dynamics?
Azrael presents as the younger brother of Casca.
Hmm.
Like okay. 7-year difference.
Yep, and Malachi. So,
and Azrael's too sensitive a soul to have relations.
Huh?
Asriel is too sensitive a soul to have relations.
That's fair. Um, and Malachi and Dante.
Um,
And
Alsatia is soft on Dante. I think Dante's too stupid to understand.
Dante doesn't get it.
Again, Dante wasn't made for heaven and earth. We don't know what Dante was made for.
Except to be a blunt instrument at times.
Exceptionally.
And Alsatia presents as Zachariah and Casca's oldest daughter. What about Malachi?
Malachi presents as Casca and Zachariah's son. 6 years younger than Alsatia.
So, assuming we say that Alsatia presents at like 26. 20?
Yeah.
Because if we went any younger than that, he'd be like...
No. He presents 20.
And what was Malachi doing during World War II? Yeah, I'm assuming he was deployed, right?
Oh, yes.
But is he deployed in...
No, he was on the Texas with Asriel. He was the one blessing the ammunition.
That makes sense. Quote unquote. Blessing ammunition. That's a song. Alright. I think that's everything that we need. Reading through notes. Alright. Alright. Cool. Good to know. Alright, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yay, we're done. Yay, we have a bunch of fallen angels and demons hanging around. It'll be great, y'all. We will, but Pope, tell the world where they can find you. Do all the good things. Shill.
Oh, look. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
the hard change.
Yeah, Pope here. Pope World Bill on Twitter. Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. If you want to see more of this silly face, well, keep tuned in here. So Saturday, yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, Son Gapia's Fortune. There's dragon.
No. You're burying the lead there.
There's a lich. There's dragon. There's a death knight.
There's a spectral dragon.
Spectral dragon. Death knight. And a wizard who's running out of spell slots. So you definitely want to tune in to see how that turns out. And then over on Wandering DM on Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we're nearing the end of this season of Montreal by Night. Prax is correct. The Ravnos is not the problem. It's the other two. And there are many problems, Betty, plurally, with what's going on there. So please, we'd love to have you. And thank you all so much for being here. The story is nothing without its audience. You're a much part of this as we are. Thank you all so much for your help with coming up with names, ideas, and I look forward to where the story goes. So, till next time, take care of yourselves and one another. See you soon.
Indeed. And I have been your friendly neighborhood Prax. At Dearjan Online on Twitter, Praxagorth has me at 4 You see me around here on Twitch, or Prax the Bard over on Hive. And thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for chatting and vibing and helping us with this little bit. And thank you, Mandy, for bringing your crew over. I really love this. Thank you for being here. If you missed out on any of this, or you want to check out the rest of this story and any of the other previous GM prep or house builds that I've done, including the ones that I did with our special guests Pooja and the one I did with the special guest Awkwardish Panda, you can check those out over on YouTube. I see everything. I comment. I sees you. Thank you very much for enjoying those. I also have a Ko-Fi. If you want to support that, all that goes back into the channel to help buy art or helps with technology and all of these things to keep running the streams here, because I do this myself. And also, I should mention that there is also merch that exists now in the universe, including the update that I did last week. That is the I survived the Lord Math experience t-shirt. That exists in the but you can also check me out. I'm probably gonna be I'm definitely stream on Thursday. I may or may not have a guest. We'll find that out. Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here, I will have a guest. The wonderfully fabulous DM Jazzy Hands, my wonderful friend Eugenio, is going to come help me build another NPC house for the wonderful Carousel Court. Because Eugenio is fabulous and this will be great. Trooper said Laura Raff is an experience. This is true. But yes, that'll be Friday. Then Saturday, back here for some more Song of Agapia's Fortune. There are 3 episodes left as they continue their ascent up this mountain. With a ghost spectral dragon being ridden by a spectral death knight, and they haven't even gotten to the Lich yet. I would like to point out that they could have just skipped this dragon. It would have involved descending 200 feet through the oculus of a perfect dome into the virtual chamber of said Lich, but they could have skipped the dragon.
Army don't go down the hole.
That's true. And then Sunday, we are in the final 3 episodes of Witcher Roads Home, the final season, and as Trooper said, Lord Math is an experience that currently Kadarn is experiencing by himself. And other people may be having other experiences. It's fine. Or at least for me, I'm the GM. I'm having all the fun. And then on Monday, I get to be over with Pope as a player as hashtag not the Ravnos' fault on Montreal by Night over on Wandering DM. But that is where you can find me. Those the stories sound interesting to you. You can check out the YouTube. I post them all. They're in nice, neat little playlists to make your listening time more enjoyable. But other than that, check where I'm going. Check my Twitter because I suppose where I'm going to be, and the wonderful, fabulous folks like Hope or Trooper or Panda or Hawkeye or anybody else that come and hang out and tell stories with me. I feel that we should raid, send some world love out into the universe, but nobody is up. That is a problem. Is there anybody else? Is there anybody out there? We can. Not at the moment, I guess. Well, until next time, everybody. Have fun. I'll catch you later.